Hello and welcome back to another session of Yoga with Laura Ashland. Please hit the subscribe button down below. We're growing slowly, but as grassroots grow. So please continue to watch my videos. I have almost 40 now. They are any amount of time, 10, 20, 30, 50, 60 minutes. So there's a variety. Please go back and redo them. And that's the benefit of this fabulous channel, YouTube, where you can visit, you can stop and start and get back to something. So having a home practice is a part of an entire practice where you might go in to a studio and have a personal one-on-one with the instructor, or actually a private one-on-one as well, to learn and to have somebody right there with you. But it's just part of an entire practice, of course, and all the different styles of yoga. Everything works. We just want to make sure that you are safe and that you're at the right level of yoga so you don't get discouraged or that you're not being challenged. So a lot is there for you, and you can have a pick and choose, almost like a smorgasbord, and you can have designer yoga for yourself. So welcome today. We are going to be discussing yoga for the back. The spine is covered in tiny little muscles. If there's 650 odd muscles in the body, and we know of 50, we can pretty much name 50 muscles. The other 600 muscles come from where? They are mostly along your spine. We have a lot of small muscles in hands and feet, but the majority of these hundreds of muscles are attached to the facet bones and the vertebrae of the spine. They're very tiny. They look like little slivers of feathers. If you looked at that, you'd think we had come from the bird family. So all these tiny little muscles that run along the spine. And then on top of that, we've got these long fettuccine-like straps of tendon. There's not a lot of muscle in the low back. It's mostly tendon. They're kind of wide and flat. There's 4 on each side. And so in addition to these feathery muscles, the tendons go on top. The lats go on top of that. Those are the larger muscles that we know of. And also we have obliques. We have a large oblique, smaller oblique up the side. And in the very back, on either side, maybe at the kidney area, a little lower than kidney, is the QL. They are the quadris laborium, and they are a 4-sided shaped muscle. They're turned in, look a little like a diamond, and the muscle striation is in a diagonal, which allows us to stretch and move, often like the muscles in the rib cage as well. So just a mini, quick anatomy version of how these muscles work. So often we find something happened in my back. Well, it could have been one of those tiny hundreds of little muscles that run along the spine. And then, of course, they're overlapped by larger. And then, of course, the trap, the rhomboid, the deltoid in the upper back region. If you have an issue in your spine, whether it is inflammation, which happens very often, or you have pulled a tendon, a ligament, a muscle, if you have a herniated disc, or you have a pinched disc and something's bulging, or you have a pinched nerve, you must, of course, see a doctor. And then you rest and rest and rest and heal that area of the body with the hot and the cold, according to your physical therapist or doctor, heat and ice, of course, but rest and heal your structures before you begin any practice such as this. So this is post-healing rehabilitative, right? We hope yoga is prehabilitative, that you do yoga so that these things don't happen to you, but if they do happen to you, never work a structure, especially in the back or anywhere in the body, until you are healed. So this is after the healing has been done and you've rested for anywhere from 10 days to 3 weeks, that you don't do anything. And let it all get kind of that inflammation begin to decrease, and you're kind of back to normal. And here are going to be two postures that we will work with the back. So find yourself on a mat. And again, if this is back work and we're not really doing sticky mat work where we're flowing and need the suction of hands and feet, you can certainly have a foam mat, or two mats or a carpet because you are at home. If it's too much to be on a flat surface as you're healing your back, then please have cushions. As I've said before in the videos, the dot on the forehead and the dot on your chin make an invisible line kind of going through the nose, obviously. This line, most cases, is parallel to the floor. So we don't want to bring the skull up and have the chin lift. We don't want to be too tucky either, although there's a slight tuck sometimes to open up the neck and kind of elongate the neck muscles and the bones. That feels very good for the cervical bones in the neck. So this is an option, a slight drop, but all best is to have this line parallel to the floor. Your feet are active and they're about to press down into the mat. That activates my femorals and the quads. So we are still going to get these legs activated a little bit. Hands can be above the head if you feel you have that reach. They can be in T-shape at shoulders or down just off the hip, almost looking like a triangle. So please put your arms wherever is comfortable as you press down into the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. As you press that exhale in, you feel more of the low spine pressing into the mat, getting ready to inhale. Pick up the hips from the pubic bone. I'm going to open my feet up just a little bit more. Exhale. Lower the spine, again, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale. Bringing up the legs, holding the backs of the knees, having straps, or holding heel or big toe, or even the ball of the foot, and press. Inhale, release the feet, bring them to the mat. You have an arc in that spine. You can almost feel a little bit of space here. Exhale, press deeply, open up the low back. Pubic bone lifts, hip plates or bones lift. Exhale, roll through the thoracic spine. Nice and slow. It's not really a vertebrae at a time. We give you that image so that you'll slow down, but there are sections where the spine is fused. Inhale, the feet come up. Exhale, taking the knees out beyond the rib cage. If you feel too lifted, and you still want support of the shoulder blades on the floor, please come to the back. So here we go, a few flows. Inhale. Exhale, press the feet into the mat. Shift your spine more into neutral, pelvic bowl neutral. Then inhale, come up from the two pubis and the hip. Exhale, rolling down, opening up the thoracic. Inhale, bringing the knees and feet up. This is baby or Apanasana. Exhale, press in. Wait for it all to relax. Wait for the shoulder blades too that we're reaching to come down into that relaxation. Inhale, feet come to the mat. Exhale, lake the belly. Bring the tailbone up a little bit. Inhale, the feet press down into the mat. Yes, you have extensions in the quads. This is a nice extension for the flexors here too. Your spine is even, pelvic bowl even, not too tipped back. Exhale, lower down in the thoracic again. All the breathing will be yours. Inhale, come up. Exhale, dropping the knees to the sides, getting a great hamstring stretch. The sacral plate is still on the floor, but your tailbone is lifted. So stay in this any length of time. Maybe here is nice. Exhale, you want to drop in for a little bit. Maybe you're holding the exhale to press and get that sensation and feeling. No breath, just the exhale. Then on the inhale, come on up. Let the belly button drop into the back of the spine. Tighten the glutes to help release any tension in the low back. Maybe no breath. Prepare the exhale that rolls the thoracic down. Once the sacral plate hits, you feel that aha, sweet moment. Then inhale. Knees come up. Take hold of ball of foot, big toe, heel, calf, back of the knee, whatever feels good for you. Exhale. Inhale, feet come forward. Exhale, drop in. Let your hair move, let the shirt move. Inhale, come up. This is an inhale, but maybe you stopped and you're just holding. Relax around the holding. Exhale, when you are ready, lower down. Wait for the sacral plate to land. The glutes almost flower, right? They kind of dissolve and come forward a little bit. Then inhale. Feet come up any amount. Have a strap if you need it. Exhale. Draw the knees a little closer. Remembering to keep as much as possible, maybe not in the beginning of the practice, but eventually the footprint, your foot is aimed at the ceiling. So we don't have feet here or here or here or here or here or here. Footprint right on that ceiling. That takes time. That takes a hamstring stretch. Inhale, release the feet. Exhale, drop in. Inhale, we are extending the femoral muscle in the quadriceps. We are lifting with pubis, two little bones here. It's attached to it's all the pelvic girdle. Exhale, lower down from the thoracic to the base of the thoracic, upper lumbar. The plate hits. Inhale, come up. Exhale, press into baby or apanasana. This actually is a digestive posture, downward air. Inhale, back, feet come to the mat. Exhale, activate the feet, press them into the mat. Scoop out the belly. Hold this exhale if you wish. Feel a little churning, a little burning there in the center of the solar plex. Inhale, come up. Great tightening, great contraction. You still feel you're opening the spine. You're not glitching the spine too tight. And the length is coming from thoracic opener, heart opener, long in the quadriceps to take out that crease in the low back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, float those knees and feet up. Exhale, take a body part that is comfortable to take, still keeping shoulder blades on the mat. Inhale, back. Everything's neutral here. Exhale, press in, lengthen. Pelvic bowl tilts. It doesn't really go posterior, it goes neutral. It can't go posterior because the floor is stopping it. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower down. Taking your spine and the muscles of your back in its most extreme postures, especially if you are recovering and you are rehabilitating from an injury. Exhale, drop the knees in. What a great stretch. You're stretching the tendon in the back, the erector spinae in the back, stretching out the QL that we talked about at the beginning. They are diagonally stretching out to the corners of the pelvic crest. Inhale, back. Exhale, press in. Inhale, take it up, press those feet, pubis and hips lift. Neck and head stay relatively neutral. Exhale, lower. Inhale, come up. Exhale, press in. Relax the shoulders, relax the face muscles. Inhale, feet come to the mat. Exhale, press in. Inhale, come up. All the triangle of the pelvic girdle and legs. Drop the belly in. Exhale, lower. Inhale, bring those knees up, feet on the ceiling. Then exhale, bring the knees out to the side of the rib cage, lowering a little bit closer to the floor. Last set. Inhale, feet come down. Right away there's an arch, there's a little bit of a pull and a drag. Let that happen, be natural. Exhale, press your feet in, activate the legs. There goes as much of that curvy lumbar flat to the mat. Then from that flat, neutral, level pelvic bowl, then inhale, come up. Stay up as long as you feel you are strengthening those back muscles and engaging the glutes. When you're ready, you can come down, press into the thoracic spine. That's attached to the ribs. That moves independently of the pelvic girdle. They're not attached, only through the lumbar. Inhale, come up. Exhale, press. Toe, wrapping the peace fingers around the pad of the toe. Ball of the foot. Heel of the foot. Super lengthening out now and stretching the muscles of the low back. And of course, don't forget this. This is a wonderful bind right here. I think I have that in my bind video. Very nice. So that is taking your spine in this motion. I mean, not only are you stretching the vertebrae, of course, you are stretching out the soft tissue and the muscles of the back. We want that stretchability so that when we go to reach for something, we won't pull the muscle, but we want the back to be strong so that when we go to lift or to above the head or carry waist height, always carry up at the waist height, never below the waist, that we want strength too. So the back needs the Goldilocks. Now we're going to go ahead, since we've warmed up with the bridge pose and the baby posture, we're going to take the body into a little bit of a twist. So have a pillow, a couch pillow, a bolster, a higher bolster works well too, and I want that to be yours. We're going to inhale, bring the knees up. Exhale as the knees float over. Make sure that you get ready to have something to take hold of the shin. You can be higher with a higher pillow. You can have something between. Wait and adjust and allow this deep twist to happen. The twist seems like it's coming from the left side, but it's really the right side, low QL, that is beginning to soften and create this twist down toward the floor. And yes, both shoulder blades at some point in your practice, maybe not today, but they are going to come down onto the mat level. If it is rolling up because you're helping aid that twist, then put something under the shoulder girdle. That's perfectly fine. We do not have to get that shoulder girdle flat into the floor just yet. Arms are at shoulder height, T shape. We do want to open up the fingers and engage these shoulder blades, press them and squeeze them together, because any help that you can get in the upper body to relax and create mobility in the low body is a great help. Now you may decide to stay right here, this is fine. But if you want a little bit of a challenge from where the knees are here in space, all I'm going to do, I'm going to first remove this bolster, but all I'm going to do is from this angle of the knee, just extend the legs out. I may decide to hold the big toe or have a strap here to create a triangular bind. This is 3 sides. Soften the belly in the middle. As this is powerful, maybe a little relaxed here on the top leg, but powerful on the bottom leg. If that's too much, strap or hands, just dial it right back. There are the knees, still in the line. When you're ready, inhale, prepare. I'm going to flex the ankles, spread the toes really wide, squeeze both legs together, and bring up a uni leg, just one leg first. And then lower the feet before we go to the other side. That was all flexion in the hip. So we want to take that hip area and I rocked it right into the neutral again. I created the lake out of the body and I inhaled into bridge. This will feel really good, but it might only feel really good on the one side. Stay up any amount, whatever feels good. You're stretching, you're strengthening. Holding is strength. Inhale, bring the knees up. Now I'm bringing them a little close to the heart, and then I would even direct them. I'll take them off to the side. Let it float, let it float, let it float. Get a pillow or anything handy ready to capture that upper thigh. Set yourself down as gently and gracefully as possible. Never force, never push, never follow a rapid instruction and a time clock or something. Take your time here, especially when you're working with low back. This comes down with grace and patience. Arms again are T-shaped. Today, I'm just instructing right now to look straight ahead. I did not have you pick up your skull and turn to the side. You could if you wanted to do that. That will just work the muscles in the neck. So that's fine too. But if we're concentrating on low back issues, we'll keep the, certainly if you're beginning to rehabilitate and you want to concentrate on a little section at a time and don't go full bore, then keeping, again, that line parallel to the floor and looking straight up into the ceiling, but you certainly can close your eyes. And if and when ready, just to even out the other side, this is an option. You can certainly stop right here. I would go ahead and swing the legs up, hold on to toes, or have a yoga strap or a belt, and create again this triangle. The arm across the chest, down the leg. This is a quite a challenge when you're just rehabilitating. So for those of you that are not necessarily, but you're doing the prehabilitative stuff, you know, you want that stretch, then this is a nice challenge for you so that we don't have the injury in the future. However, if you are just coming from an injury, this is fine. And again, having the legs up on a cushion. Inhale. I'm going to flex those ankles. There they are. Spread those toes as wide as possible. Get my foot completely engaged and tight, which will, again, kinetically get my legs tight, squeezing, lifting here. If you want, you can, of course, help push from the hand. But coming up with both legs together as one leg. They're pressing into each other, creating a great strength, relying on each other, and then bringing up the spine so that the spine doesn't do the lifting, the legs do the lifting. Bringing your feet back to the mat. Exhale, prepare. Inhale, come up. We were in a flexion for quite some time, so you always, and a little slight rotation in the low spine, so you always want to make sure that you have this nice even lift. I'm not arcing up and trying to get a wheel out of this or any kind of a back bend. This looks more like a wedge, so knee, hip, shoulder, one line. If we got out a yardstick, we would have one nice diagonal, pretty much 45-degree angle. Exhale, just like we did in the beginning as you lower in. Counter that lift with a little bit of an inhale. It might not be baby, but it might be just bring it in, roll side to side. Create a little bit of a massage out to the edges of those QL. Now, if you are not coming from an injury and you want to go ahead and just roll up, you'll take the sides or maybe nothing because you're going to work core, but you can certainly come up here. That's if you are non-injurious. If you are coming back from an injury, I highly recommend that we roll to the side. Get that arm underneath you, roll more into the rib cage. Top hand comes down to the floor. Opposite hand comes down into the floor. Stretch through that top leg and use your hands to press down into the floor. Walk your hands back to your hip. And then there go those heels again, and the hands, and the crab-like movement. So I'm not scrunching my spine along the mat in order to sit up or to come center. So always using this powerful bone and powerful hands to help anything in the center. Sitting any way that is comfortable. We do not have to sit in this not so easy Sukhasana style or half lotus. We're just going to sit gentle. Maybe you want a legs out or knees up. Yoga for the back. Be patient with your spine. Let it heal and then begin to stretch